Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is Tarot by Melissa, and in today's reading, we are doing a career reading, and I'm really excited because I haven't done one of these on my channel in a little bit of time, but we're going to be looking at upcoming career changes headed your way. So we'll just kind of take a look at some energies, events, situations of significance that are upcoming for you within the realm of career and potentially finances, if that comes through. So if that's something that you all are interested in, then definitely you're going to want to keep on watching this video. Let's get into some disclaimers. Keep in mind, guys, it is a general reading as always. So if it doesn't apply to your situation, if it doesn't feel like it's resonating, just let it go. It's probably a message meant for someone else. If you guys did want to book a personal reading, all the details on how you can book with me would be in the description box down below. Personal readings are always a great way to get a more specific and accurate read on your own personal situation if the generals aren't really resonating for you. Also, keep in mind, you guys, with this sort of looking ahead into the future, the future is not set in stone because energy is always shifting and changing. So if you see something that's predicted out for you in this video today and you don't feel like it's the path you want to go down, just know that you have the free will to make your own choices and decisions that are different in order to create a different outcome for yourself. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into our pile selection. We are working with 3 piles today. For pile number 1, we have some Citrine. For pile number 2, we have some Malachite. And for pile number 3, we have some Pyrite. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about big upcoming changes in your career and what's ahead for you. Go ahead and select the pile or crystal you feel the most connected to. And once you've made your choice, scroll down to the description box to locate the timestamp that will take you to your pile selection. See you there. Hey pile 1, if you guys picked out this Citrine, this is going to be your career reading. So we're looking at what upcoming big changes are headed your way with regard to your career. So we're going to kick things off with some tarot cards. Today we are working with the NYC Tarot deck, which is such a cute deck. So we're going to get started here. So we have Page of Wands, 10 of Wands, the Fool, and the Sun. Okay. All right. So I feel like for this group, there is certainly a big change coming your way with the Fool card being here and with the Page of Wands. So starting things off with our Page of Wands, I feel like you guys are getting ready to step into, or maybe have already started the process of stepping into some sort of new path. Page of Wands oftentimes talks about creativity. Creative inspiration, the things that we feel really, really passionately about. And pages are oftentimes new energy, the energy of being new to something. So it feels like you guys maybe have just started off on this path or will be beginning to embark on this path in the very near future. This is going to be something that you find to be really exciting, something that you're really passionate about, something that stimulates your creativity. For some of you guys, I feel like this change is something to do with messages because pages are often messengers. And if we take a look at this card, you can see that this is actually a mail delivery person here as well. So I think there could be something about communication that's really integral to this job or this change that's coming up for you. And I almost wonder, seeing this this heart, this is the 3 of Swords in the background. Like it's making me feel like for some of you guys, this change is being prompted by some sort of heartbreak, whether it's heartbreak just in general or some sort of heartbreak with regard to your career. It feels like sort of this energy of trying to offset some negative experiences that you've been through by moving forward into something different. I do see here that there is a lot of work that you're going to have to put into whatever this is with the 10 of Wands. This is going to be a lot of work to do. Sometimes with the 10 of Wands, this can talk about burdens. This can talk about being overworked. This can talk about the need to sort of like gain help or support from others if we're struggling to balance it on our own. And I do think with the Fool card being here, it is going to be important that you guys are getting help with the things you need help with, because what I see here with the Fool is that there is a new beginning that you're on, but there's a lot of potential here for you to make a mistake or miss something, and I don't want to say hurt yourself. It's kind of the scene that's here, right? Like if we take a look at her, she is walking and she's in her full energy, right? She's on this new path. She's so excited. It's a new beginning. She doesn't know what she doesn't know because she's new. Like you guys are going to be new. And because she's like just so excited and not really paying attention, she's about to like walk into this sewer and fall down, which you guys don't want to do. So I feel like part of it is this phase or this change that's coming up for you guys, I think it's going to be really important for you to make sure that you're being intentional or paying attention to what you're doing really closely, asking for help, and not feeling like you have to take the burdens of everything on by yourself. Because I think that if you are doing too much or your attention is diverted or distracted in other ways, then I think that you run the risk of potentially making a mistake, okay? But I do feel like through this, with the Sun, this is ultimately welcoming in a period of real happiness and joy in your life. Happiness and joy in your career. I mean, the Fool is the ultimate new beginning. It's a new cycle. And I do think that there's something about this change in your career coming up for you guys where it is something where you might be really a novice at it. You might, just not know what you don't know. And I think that a light is going to be shown onto that. I think this is going to be a time period where the things that you don't know are coming to the light, so that you can better address them. But I also think that the things you're good at are going to come to the light as well, because the Sun shines the light on everything. You guys may actually even be in the spotlight with whatever it is that you're doing as well, getting a lot of attention from others. You have like suns coming up multiple times here. But I feel like the Sun, ultimately, it's a sign of joy, happiness, success in your career. But you're still kind of in that new energy. So I'm going to grab your astrology cards in a second, but I'm going to grab one of these career tarot cards next. So what else should pile one know about the upcoming changes in their career? I will also tell you guys, sometimes when I'm doing readings, I do get like clairsentience. Is that what it's called? I should probably know that, but it's basically where I can pick up on feelings and emotions. And I will tell you that when I first started your reading, I felt really high energy. And as soon as I started tapping into the Page of Wands and the Ten of Wands, I started to get really drained. So I think that there is something in your message here about balance. Like I keep going back to this Ten of Wands of do not take on too much. Do not overly burden yourself. Because I think that the Page of Wands is a short burst of energy. It's not always sustainable to be in that type of energy, okay? So let's see. So we have Three of Swords. This says terminations, unpleasant outcomes, and licking your wounds. That's so interesting that this Three of Swords came up because we had that Three of Swords there in the background of the Page of Wands. And look at this. We have Temperance, which is all about balance and being patient. So yeah, it definitely feels like this upcoming change is coming to you as the result of like something unpleasant that has happened. I also wonder for some of you guys if like this Page of Wands energy talking about communication could be a lesson as well. There could be something about the way that you're communicating with others or how others are communicating with you that is, coming into the light. It's coming into a higher level of awareness for you so that you can address the issue if there is one. What does this say? This says community garden, no dumping, $40,000 fine, vehicles will be impounded. No dumping. How interesting that it says no dumping and right next to it we have like a trash guy. Very interesting synchronicities, pile one. I don't know if that resonates with anyone here. But it's interesting this is a community garden, which is making me feel like a lot of these changes are going to be about how you are connecting with community, with other people. Okay? So let's look at your astrology cards next. So we have the first house, and we have the square, semi-square, quincunx. Yeah. So the square, semi-square, quincunx is talking about, as the card says, tensions. It's talking about, clashing energies. Maybe not necessarily getting along with other people, not necessarily seeing eye to eye. It's interesting too with Temperance being at the bottom of this deck, because Temperance talks about differences too, right? And it's about finding ways to kind of strike that balance with differences that you have with others. Some people are more earthy, some people are more water. They can coexist together, but how do you strike that delicate balance where everybody's needs are being met and you're working in harmony? So I definitely think that during this time, there is a challenge around the way that you're connecting with other people. Maybe some of you guys have like a toxic coworker that's getting in the way, or this could just be in general the way that you're connecting with your coworkers and colleagues. But with the first house here, this is talking about how you are perceived, okay? Like this is about not only the way that you're viewing things, but the way that you are actually perceived by others. And it's interesting that you have all of this energy of the sun being in the spotlight. I feel like this lesson that's coming up, this change that's coming up for you in career, is partially a lesson for you to understand, you know, the way that you're coming across to other people through the way that you communicate and take on workload. Sometimes the 10 of Wands as well, you guys, can be an indication that like we're too proud to ask for help, that we're doing all the work and we don't feel like we can ask for help, or we're too proud to ask for help, something like that. And it could be an exercise during this time of like, how do I gain support from other people, right? How do I come across in a way that's not perceived as not being unwilling to get help or support, if that resonates with your situation? So let me see. I think the first house is also simply just talking about that this is, again, it's a new beginning. You're just starting out with something. And I think that you're going to have the opportunity to really make sure that what you're intending to put out is what people are actually perceiving of you. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when we're new and we're kind of unaware of ourselves, we don't always realize the way that we're being perceived by others, because we're just in this beautiful, like naive, happy energy of the Fool, right? We're starting off on something new. We don't know what we don't know about our situation. And I think sometimes because you might have those blind spots, you're not always aware of what's good to say or bad to say, or what's good to do or bad to do. And I think that that's going to be coming into the light for a lot of you guys during this time. And I think you all have really good intentions with the Fool and the Sun and the Page of Wands, really. And the Ten of Wands as well. You have good intentions here, but it's about making sure that you're being perceived accurately. So let's continue. Ooh, okay. So we have this card coming out of the deck. This says, the little star divine, my inner child is whole and complete. So there could be, this is a heart chakra card. So there could be something about, you know, the heart that is of significance to this change in your career. Inner child as well is really interesting that this is coming up. Like, I'm wondering if part of what you're doing, because it feels like it's something that you're really excited about and it's creative for you, I feel like a lot of this change that's coming up is going to be very soothing and healing to your inner child. It's interesting that there's a little child here in the Sun card though too. It's like something about this change that's coming up in your career, I think, is also on a spiritual level illuminating for you something about your inner child that needs attention, okay? Very interesting. It's like, I know that my career readings and just career readings in general don't always get the most views, but I find that when I do them, we are learning so many lessons through our careers. Like, seriously. It's not always just about love life, you know, and learning lessons through love. Okay, we have Maya, the winged messenger of creation. Spiritual direction inspires my creative flow. So I think this is a root chakra card. But, you know, this makes a lot of sense as well. It's also talking about a messenger, right? Which is like the same thing with the Page of Wands, messenger. Yeah, I think that this change is like something that you feel very spiritually and emotionally connected to. It's something that's very creative. It's something with communication. And you guys also have the star daughters at the bottom of the deck. I dance, sing, and play with my sisters at sunset. So again, this is emphasizing community energy of being around other people with this career change. All right, so I think we're going to close it out with some of these angel cards for you guys, the angel answers. So let's take a look and see for pile one, tell us a little bit more about this career change, this new phase they're stepping into here. Let's see. What else should pile 1 know about this upcoming career phase or change? We have within the next few weeks. So you guys actually got a time frame. So within the next few weeks, you might start to see these energies come into fruition. Let's see. We also have recovery. Yeah, it feels like there is a recovery for sure from something that happened. I know as I'm recording this video, I'm on LinkedIn like all day, throughout the day, just like reading posts that people are posting. And right now, you know, there are a lot of layoffs happening, especially if you live in the US. I don't know about other countries, but I wouldn't be surprised if this group had experienced some sort of layoff situation. And this new beginning is sort of like about them, you know, about you like putting yourself back out there into something new that you're securing. This could also be for some of you guys about going in a more creative direction after a layoff from like a traditional sort of, you know, corporate job. I could also see this being about the interview process for a lot of you guys too, if that is your situation coming into this reading, because, you know, the interview process, we can learn a lot during that as well. And it can be hard because you can go through a lot of rejection and you feel like you're trying and it's just not landing. You know what I mean? So take it as it resonates. Those are just a few little anecdotes that I'm seeing here. Let's grab one more for pile 1. We have peaceful resolution. So I think this is about ultimately there will be a peaceful resolution. I definitely see that at the kind of ending point of your tarot cards here. But I also think that this is about, again, striving for that balance, striving for peace, harmony with others, seeing eye to eye, kind of being patient, slowing things down, understanding and being able to cooperate with others that see things differently from us. Okay. So, wow, pile 1. This was a really powerful career reading. I think we're going to end the message here, but please comment below and let me know what's been happening for you in your career and how this resonates with you. I always love hearing from you guys in the comments, especially about career. If you're not already, definitely subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you know when I post the next reading, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hey, pile 2, if you guys picked out this malachite egg, which is so beautiful, this is going to be your career reading. So we're looking at what upcoming changes are headed your way in career. So we are going to start with some tarot cards, and then I've got a bunch of other oracle cards we're going to be shuffling on camera. I also have some pre-shuffled astrology cards. So let's just get right into it. So we start off with Death, the Hermit, the Knight of Swords, the Ace of Swords. Wow. So 2 major arcana cards, 2 swords cards. Yeah, I mean, we asked about what major changes are headed your way. This is certainly major change for sure. Starting off with the Death card, whatever is up next for you guys is a huge, huge transformation in your career. The Death card is sort of this energy of like old ways of life, old ways of doing things. In this instance, old ways of your career, literally being left in the past. You see how we have like a graveyard here? So it's like whatever you guys have done in the past in your career is no longer going to be what you're doing in the future. This is about really transformative, slow change. And with the Hermit card being right next to it, for some of you, this could be an energy of going within and sort of taking some time to reflect on what you want that change to look like for you. Spending some time alone, spending some time in seclusion, maybe doing some research online, you know, trying to come up with a plan that feels really wise and feels really in alignment with where you feel you want to go. I could also see for some of you with this Hermit card being here, an energy of working from home being a thing, because just the way that it looks like they have their home office kind of set up and they're just like at the laptop and they've got the aromatherapy going and all the things. Like I could see that being a big change for some of you where you've gone in the past from roles where you had to like travel or go into an office or go into a specific workplace every day, and now you're transitioning into something totally different, like a complete 180, where you can work from home or make your own hours. This person is also working at night, I noticed. So for some of you, this could be some sort of a nighttime thing that you're doing, nighttime hours, nighttime project, things like that. With the Knight of Swords being here, I do feel like this group is super, super ambitious as well. You know, Knight of Swords energy is someone who is like a go-getter. It's someone who is not afraid to go after the things that they want. And it's also somebody who is a really great communicator. Maybe not a great communicator, but a confident communicator, I'll say. Sometimes Knight of Swords can be a little blunt, and you guys also have an Ace of Swords. So there could be something here around like really blunt communication that's really significant, or just more clear and direct communication that you guys are working through as well. In fact, this Death and Hermit card may not even necessarily be about a new career path for some of you guys, even though I do feel like it is for a lot of you with this path being here. For some of you, this could actually be more about you transitioning the way that you are showing up and communicating with others, the way you're showing up and tackling your work. Maybe approaching things in a more fast-paced or ambitious or direct sort of manner. It's interesting that this is a baseball player as well. So I feel like for some of you, this could be like specific to like careers. We have like baseball, we've got working from home, we have, to me, this, I guess it's not an airplane, but I thought it looked like an airplane from a distance. It's not, it's a building. But anyway, I was going to say air travel, but that may not be the case for all of you. But yeah, it feels like there's this energy of becoming a little bit more ambitious about what you're wanting to do with your career and becoming a lot more clear. Kind of seeing things with the Ace of Swords from a new and different perspective than you've seen them in the past. It's also cool, like when I see this baseball player, I think of someone that's like hitting a home run. So I think that this time that you guys are reflecting, this time that you guys are changing, I think that when you finally emerge from your reflection period, you're going to be really ready to go and just like hit the ball out of the park with whatever you're planning. So let's continue. Ooh, so we have Taurus energy, cultivate. Oh, I love this for you guys already. We also have Venus. Oh my gosh. No wonder you guys picked Malachite. Malachite is like a beautiful crystal for opening up the heart chakra. And I feel like you guys have a lot of heartfelt energy coming up here. I'm going to pull one of these as well before I forget. So tell me more about Pile 2 and their upcoming career changes. We have the Page of Cups, more heart energy. This says, trust your vibes, artistic endeavors, a message of hope. We also have the World. So World are like the card says, conclusions reached, final destinations, world events, right? Like there's some major cycle, major chapter that I feel like this group is closing out in their life. And it might have felt like something that was a very slow death. I know for me personally, the death card, when I've seen this card come up for me in my readings, it's been when something in my life, like I know it's coming to an end, but it's a super, super, super slow ending. So for instance, like for me with career, this card was, you know, I would get this card a lot in my career readings over a period of about 2 years in my last job when I knew that I was ultimately going to get laid off from that job, that there was an expiration date on it. And so the death card would come up because it was like a slow end. It was like a slow transition into where I'm at now. A slow death, if you will. But also the work that I was doing in that 2 years changed. So even though I still had the same job, the job was also transforming as it was ending. So I feel like some of that might be resonant for some of you guys out there, which is why I wanted to share it. But yeah, with the Page of Cups, I mean, this is definitely giving this energy of new beginnings as well. Something that feels more tied to your heart and your emotions, going after something artistic, something that feels more gives you more of that emotional fulfillment than maybe what you've done in the past. Pages are also communication, which I know we kind of talked a little bit about here. Good news can be represented by the Page of Cups as well. But I also love that it talks about trusting your vibes with the Hermit card being here, because it's like clearly you guys are knowing that a change is necessary. And I think the Hermit energy is here to help you go within and reflect on like the wisest path ahead for you. So I feel like with Taurus, this is a very steady energy. It's an energy of, like it says, cultivate. I think that you guys are really thinking very long term about your career. I think you're really thinking about the future and like how you can make tangible, steady progress to cultivate and grow whatever this is to sustain you in the long term. Okay, when I think of Taurus energy, I also think of like, you know, I think some of you guys in this group and with Venus, you're thinking about like what your values really are with the Hermit too, right? Like, what are your values? What are the things that matter to you when it comes to your career? What really resonates with you on a deep spiritual and emotional level with the type of work that you're doing? You know what I mean? What do you love to do? Yeah. I was going to say something else with Venus, and then it just flew out of my head. I think for some of you too, it could also be like, how do you want to be appreciated by others? You know, I don't know. I feel like our Venus sign kind of also talks about how we like to be loved, you know, in a romantic sense. So maybe this is also about like how others show you appreciation at work, you know? And I think for some of you guys too, maybe lifestyle is something that's coming into play here with Venus and Taurus. Like, I think that there is this energy of wanting something sustainable, something that can sustain you for long term, that can sustain a new lifestyle that you're wanting to lead, whatever that looks like for you. Okay, so let's continue. What else for, okay. So we have Electra, goddess of balance, equality. I create and foster reciprocal relationships. So I think that building connections, building relationships is going to be very beneficial to you during this time. Striving for reciprocity, I think, is going to be really important during this time as well. Like, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. We're helping each other out. That's also the sacral chakra. So emotions, again, emotional expression being important in your connections at work. Creativity being important. Okay. We also have the temple, home. I no longer search outside of myself for home. This is beautiful, you guys. I feel like for this group, maybe something that you are exploring here is that like your sense of self doesn't have to come from your job. You know, like your job might just be giving you the lifestyle that you desire to live. You know what I mean? It's like giving me this energy of maybe some of you guys have really identified with the type of work you've done in the past, or been looking for a place to kind of fit in or feel like you're at home within a workplace. And this card really talks about knowing that you are home wherever you go. And it's a throat chakra card, so this is also talking about the way you're communicating. So there's definitely something here about like communication for sure that's coming up with others and how you're navigating through this. Okay. So pile 2, we're going to close this out with some of these little angel cards. So let's see what other messages we can get about your upcoming career changes. We have asked for help from others. Yes. I mean, that makes so much sense with some of the other messages that we've gotten here. So asking for help from others along this path is going to be very important. Let's see. We have communicate clearly. Okay, so communication energy being echoed here. Okay, and then these are flying out. We have choose a new direction and no need to worry. Yeah, I mean, I keep feeling like for this group, you guys are certainly doing some sort of complete 180 with your career. And I think it will be important for you to take some time to kind of reflect on what that's going to look like for you. Spending a lot of time being really intentional, doing your research, really getting into alignment with yourself and getting a clear understanding of like, okay, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? It almost feels like a rebranding for some of you guys of like how you're showing up in your career or what type of career path you're pursuing. And then of this beautiful message to close us out that there's no need to worry, which I think is always nice and reassuring to hear. It seems like, it's just saying that things are going to work out for you no matter what. So group 2, we are going to go ahead and end this reading here. Please comment below. Let me know what you guys have been going through in your careers and how you feel like this message may resonate with your situation. If you're not already, please do subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so that you'll be updated when I post the next reading. And I look forward to seeing you there. Bye. Hey, pile 3, if you all picked out this pyrite crystal, this is going to be your reading. We're looking into upcoming career changes headed your way. So let's go ahead and jump right in with some tarot cards. So starting us off, we have the Page of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Four of Cups, and the King of Pentacles. Okay. So it feels for a lot of you guys like there's this energy of maybe like, I feel like pages have come up in every reading so far. This is so interesting. But yeah, there's an energy here of new beginnings for this group, which makes sense. The reading's about, new energies coming through in career, changes coming through with career. But the Page of Swords in this card is making me feel like a lot of you guys are graduating from school just because of, the way that she's dressed in her cap and gown with her flowers. And this says Fashion Institute of Technology in the background, which is really cute. And you can see that she's got these dreams that she's dreaming of with her career. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, this change coming up for you, it might be something where you have just graduated from school or just completed some sort of studies or certification program, whatever it is that resonates with you. And I think that you guys have a lot of thoughts about maybe really exciting thoughts about certain goals and aspirations that you have with your career. With the Ace of Wands being right next to it and just all of this dreamy energy of her thinking about her hopes and dreams and things that she wants to achieve, like a car and whatever after achieving this goal, I think that there's a lot of exciting energy that you guys are feeling about your career. I think there is an energy of being really excited and inspired to pursue new things and to go after your dreams. I'm also noticing here that there's a lot of clouds around this hand, right? Which to me, again, is a symbol of dreams. So it's like this group, I feel like you guys have a lot of hopes and dreams and exciting ideas for your career for the future. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, maybe even something you learned about in school, or maybe if you didn't even go to school, maybe it's something you're just learning about in general is inspiring you in some way to make some sort of a change or transition in your career. It's interesting too, she's got a Metro card. So I'm wondering if there's some sort of inspiration that you guys are gaining from travel at this time as well. But it's interesting because moving into the next card of the Four of Cups, I feel like with this group, you guys might be feeling, going into a period of feeling maybe a little bit blah about your work. Maybe there's a comfort level in the status quo of how you're doing things right now. And I feel like for this group, the message with the Four of Cups is that there is a divine opportunity that's being almost handed to you or offered to you that I feel like you may not be fully recognizing because you have these ideas in your head of what something should look like. Maybe you guys have some idealistic ideas about your goals and dreams and ambitions for your career and for your future. And whenever this opportunity comes in, you might not really even acknowledge it as anything because it doesn't look like it aligns with what you want. But I think that the message here is that you don't want to just turn it down before you probe a little deeper. You know what I mean? Because on the surface, something might not look like what we want, but once we actually explore it a little bit, it can be a really divine opportunity, okay? I feel like with this King of Pentacles that this to me is representing as well like a period of financial stability and security. I feel this is also representing support that is around you because we have like a doctor being here. So maybe some of you guys are the King of Pentacles, like the support that you like of yourself. But I also think this could signify like a boss or manager that is there to support you and help you. And I'm wondering if this is the person who is like trying to inspire you or trying to like provide you with these opportunities, and you guys might not be into it for whatever reason. It's like I keep looking at this card and feeling like this is a person that's like wanting to talk to you, because you see how like it's almost like he's standing looking at us with his arms crossed, like he has some feedback that he wants to share, some message he wants to give us, some conversation that he wants to have. Like there's somebody around you, pile 3, that I do feel wants to help you if you're able and willing to recognize it and take them up on the help. Let's continue though. I want to go into one of these tarot cards. So what else should pile 3 know about these upcoming changes in their career? Yeah, so I mean, it's almost like for you guys, it's like there's a lot of cards that indicate like comfort and like status quo and security. But then there are also these cards over here that talk about like dreams and ambitions and excitement, right? So I just feel like this group just might be in a place where they're feeling really complacent or just kind of like whatever. They're going through the motions of their, I call it muggle job, like whatever your day job is. But I feel like there are other things that you guys wish that you could be doing, you know? Let's see. Page of Swords again. How interesting. So this is saying detail-oriented, expert opinions, and reading the fine print. Yeah, I mean, the Page of Swords is definitely someone that's questioning everything. You know, I was intuitively reading it a little bit differently here, but it's interesting that it's coming up a second time. I think that you guys might be getting excited about new things that you're learning as well. Like you're learning to look at things a little bit closer. You're learning to really understand the details of what you're doing. Maybe some of you guys are getting feedback from others to help you in your growth. So let's see. We have the Moon card coming up, perception. We also have opposition, confrontation. Yeah, like I'm getting a little bit of a confrontational vibe with this King of Pentacles. I don't typically read him as confrontational, but like in this deck, just the way his arms, the stance, right? Like it looks like he is being a little sassy with us. So again, it's like the Moon is emotions. You know what I mean? This is going to be about you guys tuning into the things, your dreams, your hopes, the things that make you feel really emotionally connected and inspired. I would be curious to know for some of you guys what your moon sign is too, because I feel like there's a lot of like swords energy. The Page of Swords is coming up twice, which is air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So that to me would read that like maybe this group, the way that they are, like their emotions are more connected to like the way they think about things or studying things. Like you get a lot of gratification out of like being in this detail-oriented kind of energy, being more cerebral, or like reading things feel really emotionally gratifying to you, something like that. But yeah, I think that it's like I keep getting this balance of like, or this conflict almost of like, what are my hopes and dreams that I think about a lot? And how am I going to achieve those hopes and dreams while still balancing out the expectations that are on me from my day job? Does that make sense? And with the opposition card here, I think that makes a lot of sense too. Like, I don't necessarily see you guys being in conflict with anyone per se. Maybe for some of you, this boss, this King of Pentacles, are going to get into it a little bit, but I don't really even necessarily feel that for everyone. I feel like the confrontation or the opposition energy here is the conflict between security, stability, day job, monotony of what you've already been doing versus these ideas, these creative ideas that you have that are more emotional, like more connected to your emotions of like what you would love to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Versus what you're tolerating every day. Okay, let's continue with some of these cards. What else should pile 3 know about this career phase for them? We have the ancient grandmother, Maya, the teacher. It says, I am the teacher that leads with self-knowledge. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, you guys are coming through with so many of these cards. The Page of Swords twice, this card with the owl on top of it. Like, there's certainly something about learning something for yourself that you're taking a lot of pride in or that you're going to be doing during this time. You're teaching others and you're leading through self-knowledge, being self-taught. Let's see. We also have the visionary. With an intuitive perspective, I see the bigger picture. Third eye energy. I feel like I'm getting that as well with this owl, right? Because I feel like this is about kind of seeing things from a higher perspective, from a wiser perspective, being able to see through the dark, you know, the unknown a little bit. I think that you guys are looking at the bigger picture of this situation. Maybe in the bigger picture right now, it feels good to continue on whatever path you've been on with your work, whatever it is that's bringing you that stability and that security that you need to, you know, be able to survive in our society. But there's still this effort to explore and understand whatever the creative things are that you're wanting to pursue. So let's see. Let's close it out with a few of these for you, Group 3. What else should Group 3 know about their upcoming career changes? We have let go. Okay. So something needs to be released, which I feel makes sense, you guys, with this energy of looking at the bigger picture. Like, it does sort of feel like you could be making some sort of a sacrifice at this particular moment in time, because in the big picture, there's a greater need to do something different, you know? Let's see. Peaceful resolution. So things coming to a peaceful, balanced place. Let's see. Listen to your intuition. That's coming up twice now. Moon is also intuition too, you guys. It's not just our emotions, but it's the way that we are, you know, letting our emotions kind of navigate us through a situation. Yeah, so I think with this, I think that you guys are moving through a phase in your career coming up here really soon where you need to really listen to your intuition and your emotions and allow those things to kind of guide you onto the right path. I just keep kind of feeling like there's a little bit of conflict with this group, like an inner conflict where maybe you're not sure what direction to go or like how to make some of your dreams come to life. But I think that there is a lot of support that's out there for you if you're willing to take it with the Four of Cups there. You guys also did have helpful people at the bottom of the deck here. So I do think that there are people around you that you can get some support from. You don't have to figure it out all by yourself. So pile 3, we are going to go ahead and close out the reading here, but I would love to hear from you. What's been going on in your career lately? Drop me a comment down below. Let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that you will be updated when I post the next reading, and I'll see you then. Bye.